All right, well, Arvind Sanger is now joining us. He's managing partner at Geosphere Capital Management. Arvind, great to have you with us here on the program. Thanks very much for your time. Uh, so just start with what's immediately in front of us, which is Nvidia, and the magnificent run by the Magnificent Seven. What's the sense? There's some nervousness there about what we could do, because it's been the Pied Piper really for that entire technology pack, especially in AI, semiconductors, etc. Anything to worry, really? Your sense?
Well, look, I'm no expert on Nvidia, but I will just say this, that, nothing ever goes straight up. Just because AI is going to be around for a long time and AI is going to have a meaningful impact on, a lot of parts of the business doesn't mean that it's going to be an Nvidia monopoly forever and that it's going to be the only beneficiary of the stock is going to go up forever. So I think, look, I don't know what the earnings will do. I don't know whether it'll meet expectations, beat expectations. But at some point, when people's expectations get too far on one side, stocks do tend to correct. So that's the nature of markets, that's the nature of stocks. And I don't think Nvidia is an exception to that. But whether it'll happen tomorrow or not, I don't know. But my point is the Magnificent Seven have come a long, long, long way. And suddenly the market's now starting to worry about the Fed may not be as supportive of valuations and the market and the economy. And there's even some small talk of maybe they might have to raise rates in the future. And remember, 2 years back when inflation took off, a lot of the Magnificent Seven came crashing down. So it's not like they're immune to macro factors. And therefore, there are risks out there. And so, I think the market's taking a little bit of a breather on that.
Arvind, hi, good morning. How are you feeling about the Indian markets now? There are two camps, one that believes that perhaps, the best of the bull run is behind us, and the other that believes that as we head into the elections, it's all blue sky scenario from here. But it's a very, very divided street. Which part of the street do you belong to?
Well, I belong to the same answer that Nvidia. Things may be great, but valuations are not great. And that is always a problem in terms of, again, are we talking about a 3-month move or are we talking about a 3-year move? If you're talking about a 3-month move, I think every valuation signal that I've seen in history is suggesting red, right? The valuations of mid-cap and small caps are far in excess of any historical, valuation mean, and completely at the high end and trading at a premium to large caps. So, are we finding opportunities? Yes, but we are finding opportunity in some of the large private sector banks that have sold off like there's, going to be no financial cycle, and yet the economy is going to do fine. And that just doesn't happen. And you cannot have a real economic cycle without large public sector banks, large private sector banks participating. So, there are opportunities in the market. So it's not like all the market is overvalued. But I think as an overall market, yes, I think it's a lot of the good news in terms of election and everything else is discounted. So if you have a 3-month view, I'd be a little cautious.
All right. In the near term, you could be a little bit cautious. Hi, Arvind. Morning. Good to see you in. Arvind, you were early onto this PSU basket here in India. I think stocks like Power Grid, NTPC, you all were in early. The stocks have done very, very well. At current reckoning, what would you do? You're having some kind of bad news that came in Coal India. The stock has corrected a little bit from the top. You continue to maintain your positive stance on them, but you wouldn't add? Is the way you go about it?
Well, yeah, we look for pullbacks to add, right? Because the opportunity for the cheap valuation is behind us. Things have gotten, it's become a consensus trade now. And consensus trades have a habit of, having a lot of risk embedded in them. And if anything goes even slightly wrong, there's a bit of an air pocket on profit taking. So, yeah, I don't think the India power sector story is over by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Indian power demand supply, tightness is going to persist for a while. But I'd look for a little more patience. Again, we're looking at sectors that have been, laggards and not necessarily chasing after ones that have done very well in terms of incremental money putting to work.
All right. Thanks a lot, Arvind, for that. Appreciate it. We'll